y'all, Pretty Nasty here, and today we are going to be talking about an apprenticeship versus self-taught. When it comes to tattooing and learning how to tattoo, you're either going to choose an apprenticeship, which is basically you paying somebody to teach you how to tattoo, or you're going to be self-taught, where basically you teach yourself how to tattoo completely. While I don't think that there is one option that is better than the other, I do feel as though both very much have pros and cons to learning how to tattoo. Me personally, I am self-taught by choice and by force, honestly. When I had first started learning to tattoo, there was nobody who was wanting to give me an apprenticeship. Nobody wanted to teach me. Nobody who even wanted to give me the time of day on just teaching me things or just answering questions. There's definitely cons when it comes to being a self-taught artist that I didn't even know would have been a thing, but it became a thing. So I'm gonna go through pros and cons for both apprenticeship and both self-taught, just so if you are trying to learn how to tattoo, you know which approach that you would want to take that better suits you and that you will be more comfortable with. Getting down to an apprenticeship. An apprenticeship, you are paying somebody to teach you how to tattoo. You are actively going to another tattoo artist and telling them, hey, I want to learn how to tattoo, can you teach me? Now, the pros that come to being an apprenticeship, for one, you definitely get that real shop experience. Compared to being self-taught and you being home alone in your room looking on YouTube at the videos, having an apprenticeship means that you are sitting in a real tattoo shop, you're getting real tattoo experience from other artists, from clientele, from your mentor, and you're getting all of this experience for how to become a better artist. Definitely a lot of beneficial things that you would learn in a tattoo shop, such as how to talk to clients, how to price a tattoo, how to ensure that you're keeping your workspace clean, and truly being able to be around all the other artists so they can answer any questions that you have. You're able to watch them as they work and gain visual experience. You get to ask your mentor questions while they're working mid-tattoo and just ask like, hey, what are you doing there? What needle are you using? How are you making that shade? Also, one thing you will definitely learn about is working with good quality products. If you're going to be apprenticing in a shop, you will be around a lot of artists who uses a lot of various different products for whatever they're doing. You might have one artist to the side using dynamic ink while the other artist is using world famous. You got somebody off to the side using the 4-point stroke machine. So you will definitely be working around other artists who knows what is good quality in inks or machines compared to what's not good quality. And they'll tell you straight up, that's not good quality. Don't work with that. Another pro working as an apprentice would be getting able to watch your mentor. Watching your mentor tattoo will definitely be a huge benefit because you can sit there, you can ask them questions, they can tell you what they're doing as they're doing it, they can show you the needle groupings, they can show you how you're packing skin, how tight to pull the skin, how deep to go in the skin. Mentor being right there to tattoo and you ask questions, ask as many questions as possible. I did not get no luxury of asking anybody like, hey, how do I do this? So if you have somebody who is willing to work with you, willing to show you what they do, definitely watch them every chance you get. Visually learning is also another benefit to having a mentor because there's not too many times where you can go on YouTube and you can ask questions. There's not too many times where you can see somebody else tatting and you're just sitting there wondering why, like, how do they do this? How do they get that? Being an apprentice in a shop also means that you can gain clientele. If you're always going to the shop and you're practicing, guarantee you there's going to be a client that comes in that sees your work or notices that you're new and actually give you a chance. I've definitely had a couple of people that were like, if you want to practice on me, you can practice on me. Like, I have enough skin, here you go. Now, the cons of being an apprentice. I will say a con of being an apprentice doesn't always mean that you will straight up become a tattoo artist. If you are trusting someone else to teach you a skill, you would want them to show up for you. And if your mentor does not show up for you, you're not learning how to tattoo. I've definitely heard stories of mentors not showing up, not caring about their mentees. And there's definitely mentors who will just take your money and just not share knowledge with you. So you got to be careful with who's going to be your mentor, who you trust, and who you want to teach you how to tattoo. Another con would be you spending a lot of money just trying to learn how to tattoo. I've heard of some apprenticeships being $1,000, $2,500, I believe there's a tattoo school where it's like 7,000. I don't know, don't quote me. But I definitely do know if you're wanting to learn how to tattoo, nobody's gonna teach you for free. Especially if you're going to a tattoo shop and you want to learn, you're not gonna learn for free. You definitely will have to give some type of payment in order to be taught. You could potentially have a mentor who would tell you only practice skin, no real skin until I feel like you're ready. So you very much could be dedicating your time to going to a tattoo shop, to learning, to not financially gain anything for weeks, months, however long it takes. I would definitely recommend you having a steady job. Don't quit your day job just to learn how to tattoo. Definitely have income still coming in while you are learning how to tattoo, because if you're not taking any money from clients or you're not actually working on real skin and taking payment, then financially you will not be gaining nothing while you are learning. Everybody's different. Some mentors will probably give you percentages, or some mentors will tell you you can take the whole amount for the tattoo that you did on real skin. Everybody's different. Everybody's shop's different, so it just depends. That definitely still is a con for being an apprentice though, because well, I don't want to not make money while trying to learn, feel me? But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. One of the biggest things that I've heard coming from a lot of different artists is that once they started their apprenticeships, there was no learning how to tattoo, there was no learning how to make art. It was just mop the floors, take out the trash, file these papers over here, set up my workstation. Now, I would hope this wouldn't be the case for any new artists who are interested in trying to learn tattooing, but definitely watch out for the people who just want to use you. They will take your money and they will just put you to work around the shop. You're not learning how to tattoo. You're not learning, you haven't even picked up a machine. You sitting here filing all these consent forms and you started 3 weeks ago, you haven't even seen a tattoo machine. Definitely just watch out for those type of people. Don't get scammed, don't fall for that. Actually get with somebody who is wanting and willing to teach you how to tattoo, not just putting you to work. Depending on where you get your apprenticeship at, you definitely could be walking into a negative work environment. It's a potential. Not all tattoo shops are the friendliest. Not all tattoo shops are the cleanest. Not all tattoo shops know how to conduct business. If you're going to be doing an apprenticeship with any shop, any mentor, please make sure that they are credible, they are clean, that this is a place that you want to come into work and be happy with learning. You shouldn't be leaving a tattoo studio stressed out because all the other artists or your mentor or anything like that. So you should be able to come to a positive, clean environment where you can learn and you can have a positive experience. Last con I would have for being an apprentice would be learning from somebody who has limited skills. Your mentor only does traditional tattoos while you want to be a black and gray realism artist. So now moving over to being self-taught. Being self-taught in this industry is seen as a con itself, because there's a lot of people who don't feel like you can teach yourself how to tattoo and still be successful. But here I am. It's definitely possible if you dedicate your time, if you're patient, if you actually practice everything that you're learning. To me, being self-taught is definitely what's worth it for me and my path. So a couple of pros of being self-taught. Number one is you can learn at your own pace. Not to say that there will be any mentors who would rush you, but you definitely have more control of how fast you're learning and what you want to learn. If you feel like your lines are crispy, then you just might want to go ahead and learn how to shade. If you already know how to shade, then you just might want to go ahead and learn how to start doing color. There's no time limit on what you want to learn, how you want to learn. It's just all on you. The next pro for being self-taught, which is definitely the main reason why people go self-taught, is you save money. You're saving thousands of dollars if you just learn how to tattoo on YouTube. That's how I learned how to tattoo. That's what I did. I also bought a couple of seminars from people, but base level, bottom level, learning from YouTube is the cheapest thing that you can do. The cheapest on how to learn how to tattoo. Really, the only thing that you're paying for is supplies, a machine, anything else. But you don't have to worry about a $2,000 apprenticeship. Definitely a big money saver, especially if you come to the realization that you don't actually want to be a tattoo artist and you wouldn't have spent $2,000 for nothing. For all of my entrepreneurs, this next pro is for you. Becoming your own boss. The best thing you can ever do is to become your own boss. Ever since I first started teaching myself how to tattoo, I have been my own boss. I have been in control of everything that I do. Of course, I have to take accountability and responsibility for my own actions and my own regards. But at the end of the day, I get to make my own schedule. I get to do what I want to do. I'm my own person. I'm my own boss. I'm my own business. So I don't got to worry about too many other people. Along with being your own boss, you get to keep all of your profits made. Compared to apprenticeships and working in a tattoo studio, usually there's some type of percentage. Whether it's a 70-30, whether it's 60-40, 50-50. Being a self-taught artist and being in your own space and doing tattoos, you get to keep all of your money. You don't gotta worry about paying the tattoo shop. You don't gotta worry about booth rent. You don't gotta worry about nothing. All money just comes back to you, and that's it. Another big pro to being self-taught would definitely be being able to find your own style. And while you're learning how to tattoo, you're learning how to tattoo your mentor's style, you get lost in trying to figure out or find out what it is that how you want to tattoo. What kind of style you want to provide your clients. What kind of style that you want to eventually become known for. So with an apprenticeship, I feel like you kind of get lost into finding out what you want to do, what your style is. As compared to being self-taught, you have open realm to dabble in every single type of style and figure out what it is that you like the most. Something that became beneficial to self-taught artists is online classes. Online classes is definitely a great option to learning how to tattoo compared to spending buku bucks on an apprenticeship. In the industry now, there's a lot of tattoo artists who make online classes and seminars for you to learn how to tattoo. From basic fundamentals of how to pull a line, then how to do fur textures. Of course, these classes are not gonna be cheap. Like, they're not gonna be cheap, but they will more than likely be cheaper than an apprenticeship. Still very much a great option, still very much an option for you to learn how to tattoo. You just definitely have to be dedicated and consistent with actually learning how to tattoo to become a better artist. Couple of cons for being a self-taught artist. One of the biggest cons that I see even now with a lot of self-taught artists is getting into the habit of doing it for the money and not actually growing. When you first become self-taught and when you're actually comfortable with doing real skin, you have money coming in. Whether you're charging $25, $50, $100, whatever you're charging, you have money coming in. So with this money coming in and you slowly gaining clientele, you have more and more people wanting tattoos from you. But you keep doing these same tattoos that's $100, $50, yet you're not growing in your craft. I definitely feel like there's a time where you get so stuck up in taking all of these clients and taking all of these payments that you don't continue to grow your craft. Definitely an issue I've been seeing in a lot of artists nowadays. It definitely does not stop at the money. Y'all need to keep going. You very much well can get stuck in the habit of just doing these tattoos and not growing at all. I've come across a lot of tattoo artists who would be like, oh, I'm 7 years experience, 10 years experience, 15 plus years experience. And the quality of their tattoos look like they're still in year 2 of tattooing. Don't be that person who is 10 plus years in the industry and your work looks like you did it at year 2. If you want to become a great artist in this industry, there's no reason why your tattoos from year 12 look the same as year 1. Always grow. Don't get stuck in the habit of just taking these payments because you know how to do tattoos. No, continue to grow, continue to work on your skills. And if you really think about it, the better you get, the more you can charge. And then on top of that, you don't want to be doing no big pieces on people and the quality is trash. Trash. Definitely take the time to get your skills together before you start doing all that. One thing about being self-taught that definitely held me back was not having a mentor to look over any work. There was nobody I could ask. There was nobody I could go to ask them, hey, does this look good? What do I need to do differently? What needles do I need to use instead? None of that. Being self-taught, I had to be my teacher. I had to be my critique. I had to be my motivator. There's nobody else to do that for you. Being self-taught means you have to be your own mentor. You have to be your own motivator. You have to be your own teacher. And even though I didn't have nobody to look over my work, I didn't have nobody to tell me what it is I need to do better, I still sat myself down, looked at my work, examined what I needed to do, and just kept practicing. Now, there are a lot of times where I went to different like tattoo shops and like I showed the artist my work and was like, you know, I'm a beginner. Can you look over my work just to see what it's looking like? Is there any tips you can give me? What do you see that I need to improve on? So even if I didn't have nobody looking over my shoulder at my work, I still actively went out to other artists to ask them, hey, does this look good? Like, does this seem right? Like, is there any tips? So that's definitely a con to being self-taught, because you have nobody to teach you. You have nobody to tell you what's right, what's wrong. You have nobody to tell you if you're going too deep in the skin or not. Really, it's just a huge trial and error learning experience that you put on yourself when you become a self-taught artist. The next con about being self-taught is spending a lot of money on supplies. In my beginner years of being a self-taught artist, boxes of needles for me were at minimum $20-$30. So like $20-$30 for one box of needles. So that's like one size. So that's like a box of 3s. But then I know I'm gonna need some 7s, some 9s, and I'm gonna need a couple of mags and maybe some shaders. So all of that money really accumulates. All of that money accumulates. You gotta spend money on inks, you gotta spend money on a machine, you gotta spend money on saran wrap, you gotta spend money on the big things, on the little things. So this kind of goes back to being a con for being an apprentice as well. There's not gonna be too much financial gain in the beginning. Now, unless you have been tattooing for 2 days and you just deem yourself an artist and you say, hey, $25 tattoos, that's on you. That's your financial gain right there. If you're a person who is trying to dedicate their time to getting better, you don't want to mess up nobody's skin, you're staying to practice skin for a long time, definitely you will have some financial struggles at that point, because you're just simply practicing. Nobody's paying you to practice, nobody's paying you nothing, and you're just spending money on all of these supplies. And really, you're just spending money on supplies just to practice, and that's it. And that's definitely one thing that kind of hurt me a little bit in the beginning too, was spending money just to get better and just not even getting no financial gain until later on down the line. Because realistically, I could sit here and do a $50 small tattoo. Okay, cool. Do one small tat for $50, but the amount of money that you put in to setting up your station, to wrapping your machine, to using inks, to using needles, there's no true profit in return when it comes to that. Another con, not all information is good information. Not all information that you see on YouTube, that you see on Google, that you learn from any other tattoo artist, not all information will be good information, nor will it be beneficial to your tattoo journey. There are a lot of people who will spread misinformation about how to tattoo, what to do, information that can cause you to risk infection of your client, information that can really cause damage to the skin. Definitely important to make sure when you are learning from artists online that they are credible, that they have great quality work, that they're not scamming you. And it definitely doesn't hurt to cross-reference information from what this one artist said compared to how this other artist does it, just to ensure that you're getting the right information, just to ensure that you're getting the information that you need. Another really big con for being self-taught is your work area is probably not sterile. Where you're tattooing at is probably not sterile. 9 times out of 10, if you're learning how to tattoo, you're in your bedroom, you're in the kitchen, you're in a garage, you're not somewhere where it's sterile. You definitely do run a risk of spreading infections and diseases if you do not know proper protocol when it comes to hygiene, how to prevent infections, bloodborne pathogens, which is definitely why it's important. If you're going to be a self-taught artist, you need to teach yourself how to be sterile, how to be clean in your workspace. That's one thing I see with a lot of new artists that's gonna be a problem for them in the future, is not being clean. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold you. I was in my bedroom at one point, yes, doing tattoos. But the difference was I was clean, I was sterile, and I knew how to go about wrapping my station and tearing down my station to where the client is clean, I'm clean, everything's safe, everything's good. Some new artists nowadays, we're using pillows, rest our legs on to tattoo. We're not using gloves. We're not wrapping up the machine. Why are we not wrapping up the machine? Definitely the biggest issue when it comes to being self-taught, because new artists don't think about the fact that you're working with skin, you're working in skin, you're working around blood. This is open wounds. So if you're going to learn how to tattoo, please learn about bloodborne pathogens, how to prevent infections, how to clean the skin, knowing what skin not to work on. Educate yourself. Educate yourself in every single aspect when it comes to tattooing. Something that was difficult for me being a self-taught artist was building reputation. In the beginning, when I started learning how to tattoo, everybody did not come running to me for a tattoo. It definitely took a lot of time to get my name out there. It definitely took a lot of time to build clientele. When I had first started tattooing in the house, it was mainly just friends coming by, getting little small tattoos. And then eventually other people started to recognize what was going on and was like, hey, you know, I want a tattoo. And then moving from the house to an actual tattoo shop, I gained even more clientele from there. It's definitely gonna be hard in the beginning with gaining clientele because you will have a lot of people who will look to you as a new artist and they don't want to come to you yet because they don't have the skills. They feel as though you're gonna mess up their skin, or they don't want to get something by you that later they regret and would have to cover up. In the beginning, take your time with taking clients, take your time with building your reputation. Always have patience in the process and it definitely will come to you. So my last little con for being a self-taught artist is something that I have went through since I started tattooing, which is getting hate from any and everybody in the tattoo industry. Whether you did an apprenticeship, whether it's some other self-taught artist, there's always going to be somebody to hate on you for being self-taught. I have people who hate on me for being self-taught, saying you're not a real artist because you didn't get an apprenticeship, you don't know what you're doing. There definitely will be a lot of people who will hate on you because you chose to be a self-taught artist. Whether it's the fact that they feel as though you truly don't know how to tattoo, or you truly don't know how to keep your workstation clean, or whether it's you didn't go through the process of having to be basically hazed and having to work around the shop, having to mop floors, and having to file forms or getting coffee or lunch for all the other artists. Like, some people hate that you didn't have to go through that to become an artist, which for me personally, I don't understand, but hey, it's a different generation. And having all of that said to me was just crazy because at one point I wanted an apprenticeship. Like, I wanted somebody to teach me how to tattoo, but nobody would. At the end of the day, not everybody's gonna be happy that you're a self-taught artist. Oh well, keep doing you. Well, that's it for this video. I definitely will be having more tattoo content coming soon. Make sure you comment down below for any videos that y'all want to see, anything that y'all want me to do, anything that y'all want me to explain. If you have anybody that's interested or conflicted in being an apprentice or self-taught, definitely send them this video so they can know some pros and cons of both sides to learning how to tattoo. Make sure y'all like the video. And of course, if you want any tattoos from me, make sure you DM me at prettynasty_ink. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Like I said, more tattoo content coming on the way. So make sure you hit those post notifications, turn them on, and I'm gonna catch y'all next time.